we were driving home, myself and my wife were driving home not long ago, and we stopped at a set of lights, and just outside the window, just at the Hogarth roundabout, just down from here actually, just at the roundabout, there had been a crash, right, just at the Fuller's Brewery. There had been a crash, right, and I'm in a crash, a dent, a small prang of a thing, and they should have just exchanged insurance details and moved on, but they didn't. Something was said, and it escalated, and now there's two people screaming at each other on the A4, right, roaring at each other, and Jesus, you want to look. You want to look at this piece of free theatre which is happening just outside your window, right? But you can't. Society's rules are very clear about this. So we're being very good and looking straight ahead. My wife in the passenger seat, me driving the car, family wagon, you know, with all the buttons. So just for the crack, I lowered her window. So now two people are having a massive argument when a car pulls up and then they hear and they turn, and then my wife turns because her vision is based on movement. So she turns as well. Love it, how you get that. And now she's in this argument, and there is no way out of this argument, because they're going, what the hell do you want, right? And my wife is going, ah! And she turns to me and I went, yeah, honey, that's a bit of a dick move, if you don't mind me saying. Karmically, please, let me balance that off. A couple of Christmases ago, I was buying her a present for Christmas, and I went into Selfridges, right? Selfridges in Oxford Street, went into one of the jewellery concessions, right? And I'm looking at a necklace and I'm looking at some earrings, right? And eventually I decided to get the necklace, and I called the woman over and go, I'm going to take the necklace, please. And the woman takes the necklace and takes it away to box it and bag it and do all this, right? So I'm there looking at these earrings going, do you know what? They're part of the same set. That'd be a nicer gift if it all came together. And you know, it's been a long year of travelling and working. Go on, what the hell, right? So she comes over and I say to the woman, I'm also going to take the earrings. And not a word of a lie. The woman on the jewellery concession in Selfridges looks at me and goes, and are these for the same lady? And suddenly I am thrust into a world of sexual sophistication that I am ill-equipped to carry off. Your James Bond type would know what to say here. I'm there going, Could be yours if you play your cards right, that's fine. And you're going, Jesus, is this how they train them in Selfridges? Does every department do this? If I'm like in the home goods department and I go, yes, I know I've already bought the Clairol foot spa, but I'm also going to get the Breville sandwich maker as well. Are they just trained to go? And is this for the same lady? No, I've a bit in the side, and after we have a shag, she loves a ham and cheese toastie. Oh, you should see her. Nom, 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 nom. Toasty, 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 toasty. I did that exact line in Bristol on this tour, and just at that moment, a woman round about here in the front row turned to her husband in a demonstrably angry way, right? And it's a live art form. You can keep stopping and messing around all the time. So it's always quicker to just stop these things immediately. I went to her and said, is there a problem, right? And this woman genuinely went, that is not how a woman would talk. Do you fucking think? Really? Because I was drawing on my full experience of post-coital woman. And you all go, nom, 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 nom. Toasty, 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 toasty. You got what you want, give me what I want. Toasty, 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 toasty. By the way, to any other older people, I apologize if I'm misrepresenting being slightly older, being in your 40s or whatever. Particularly, I'm sorry, it's not that dull. It's actually quite pleasant, actually. Because there's a bedrock of knowledge that you get and the confidence that you get when you're slightly older. And as well as that, you do take up new interests as you get older. You know, sometimes it's something like jazz or classical music or red wine or whatever, right? But you do. And the one difference between being in your older and being in your 20s, with respect to my 22-year-old friend, right, is that when you're older, you don't have this terrible desire to be the master of it, to own it, to know everything about the subject. And you know you're never going to catch up with people who've been into this for 25 years, right? Whereas when you're in your 20s, it's a very important thing to a man, the cultural choices he makes. So he'll suddenly discover the movies of Martin Scorsese and watch all of them and tell you what the best one is, right? And then I'm really into the Smiths now, so I've listened to all their albums and this is the best one, right? Yeah. And like, that's really, really interesting for a man in his 20s. But when you're in your 40s and you hear a man in his 20s going, no, this is the best album, or this is the best film, it sounds exactly like a 6-year-old going, no, a stegosaurus is the best dinosaur. I didn't think there could be a best. Not the Tyrannosaurus Rex. No, its back is unprotected from attack. Whereas in your 40s, you're a lot more confident about these kind of things. And even things that used to be previously quite intimidating, like a classical music shop, because of the dust and the vinyl and the levels of erudition, now as an older, more confident man, you can walk in there and just walk to the counter and hum some shit from an ad and make them find it for you. And there is an exquisite pleasure in doing that, going, hello, do you have anything by the man who went... Do you mean the Lurpak butter ad? Is that what you're talking about? Is that... Yeah, him, the little butter guy. Did he release any more songs, or was he a bit of a one-hit wonder? Because those worlds are mired in snobbery, ridiculous. Red wine is a very good example. You get older, your palate broadens in some way, right? So you can tell a light wine from a heavy wine. But now, of course, now you're supposed to know the 1855 classification of chateaux and what the soil is like on one side of a mountain in a part of France you're never going to visit, right? And that's all arse, lads. There are 3 levels of wine, right? 0 to 15 pounds, fucking drink it. What are you waiting for, right? 15 pounds and up, put it in a cupboard on its side for a while, then take it out, pour it into that weird jug you have at the back of the cupboard, give it a spin, into a glass, and drink it. Then there's a 3rd level of wine, which is wine you bring to a party, which is wine you only have because you once held a party in your house. People brought that wine to you. And that wine simply moves from house to house to house. It doesn't have a picture of a chateau on the label. It's more like a logbook in an old car. It just gets stamped as it moves along. And it's never opened until you go to the house of one idiot who doesn't know what the rules are and goes, oh, Dara, you want some red wine? Why don't we open the bottle you brought? Why don't we? Why don't you make an enemy for life, you prick? Feeding me the rancid piss water I brought into your house as a gift. Sure, put into one of those really big glasses so we get a real sense of the... I say parties, I don't go to parties, I'm 43. I go to social evenings, which involve hanging out with the parents of children who are in the same class as my children. These are not a party, they're a fucking memory test with canapes. As you struggle to recall their name, their job, and which one of those runts is their child. Let us not pretend we give a shit about other people's children. And then the more children we have, the less effort we are willing to make in mixing with parents from the same class. I've only got 2, but Jesus, people who have 4 or 5 children must just stand on these evenings with their back against a wall, with a tinny in their hand. And people come up and go, hi, I'm Tyrone's dad. Fuck off. Give a shite about you or Tyrone, you fresh-faced one-child prick. Weird. Always the biggest round of applause of the night for that particular observation. Anyway, by the way, I'm going to say a thing in a minute, and when I finish saying the thing I'm going to say in a minute, watch out for this, I'm going to say these words. Thank you very much, good night. Ignore it. Then I'll walk off. Ignore that as well. It is not the end of the show. If I hear one chair go, fadunk, I will be furious at, right? Furious. You'll have not understand the rules of this at all, right? I have to walk off. I won't even disappear from view. I'll leave one hand just dangling. You'll see it just there, just as a sign of life. I'll put a mirror and breathe on it. You'll see it steaming up. You'll know I'm just behind there, behind that big head. I'm just behind there, right? Big head, me and the big head, great. So, difficult enough to shift along with the megabus. Anyway, so, there. Stop it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh, I can take a joke. My entire life. Anyway, I'm not going to go anywhere. I will be back. It's a dance you have to do. I'll walk off, and then back on again. Right, watch it happen. I went to see Prince. Went to see Prince in January of this year. Oh, what a gig. Jesus. I know. 12 minutes. One of them, 90 minutes of joy, right? And then he finishes, thank you, and skitters off on his heels, right? 15 minutes later, Prince comes back out again for an encore, and the whole room is standing there waiting for him. If I went behind there for 90 seconds, I would walk out again, and there'd be a man with a broom just standing